What's up, everybody, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of Between
the Cons. Okay, you didn't do it with me. I thought we were supposed to do it. You said
we agreed on
episode-
nothing. We agreed on nothing.
You said it.
No.
Yeah.
Untrue. This is an untruth.
It's fake news.
It's fake news. But anyways, my name's Chris, and with me today, the Outlaw Steve Jr.
What's up?
Thanks to everybody that's tuned in today.
Oh wait,
What?
it's the Outlaw Steve Jr. Bang 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 bang.
Just
bang 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 bang.
unenthusiastic bang. But anyways, thanks to everybody that's tuned in today. Everybody that's hit us up on the internet this week on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, listening in on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Overcast, YouTube, RSS feed. I think we're still on Stitcher, SoundCloud,
Friendster, MySpace.
Yeah.
What's the other one?
Zanga. Yeah, LiveJournal.
Deviant Art.
Yeah.
backslash blog.
/audio. Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in on our Deviant Art page. And if you haven't left a review for the show yet, please do on any of the aforementioned sites, except for Deviant Art. They don't allow reviews, just plagiarism. But
That's fair.
we've got a pineapple episode for you. We're going to be hitting the headlines, talking about the latest and greatest nerdy news. So stick around. We'll be right back.
We're gonna have a pineapple situation. What should I do? Pineapple. The word that cannot be spoken. Pineapple.
Just want to say pineapple. If
Pineapples are fun. My dad used to
Pineapple.
throw them at me.
Pineapple.
Seriously? Wow.
All right, so we found out earlier today that Todd Phillips, the director of earlier today, what a relative term. We found out on Tuesday.
There it is.
Wait, yeah, we found out on Tuesday that there will be a Joker movie directed by Todd Phillips. If you're not familiar with Todd Phillips, that's fine.
Jason Todd Phillips.
Whatever. He directed The Hangover.
His name's not actually Jason Todd Phillips. It was a Jason Todd Phillips.
Yeah, his
Before
name
and
is
after Wheel of Fortune category.
Yeah, Jason Robert Brown Todd Phillips Johansson.
It's a weird name.
Yeah, it's long. It's a long form name, you know. So, don't.
Anyways, The Hangover, Old School, Due Date, all of those movies.
Why you're supposed to write all your stuff in the thing, and instead I'm looking in my phone to find my saved articles. All right, so,
Podcasting 101. Write it down.
So the Warner Brothers tapped Todd Phillips to co-write and possibly direct the origin movie. Great for the Joker. He's going to co-write it with Scott Silver, who wrote a couple of good movies, 8 Mile and The Fighter.
The origin story of the Joker is so depressing.
Yeah.
Why
and
would
it's
you
also,
pick somebody that wrote Old School and The Hangover?
Well, here's what I don't understand. Okay, so and it keeps happening, but you have a character that is inundated in the culture of cinema. Like, people know who the Joker is.
Right.
Why? And they did it. They do it all the time.
Every
Why?
Batman movie.
Yeah, every Batman movie, it's the same shot of the gun, and it hits the pearls, and the pearls break. Stop doing that, and stop making the Darth Vader like origin story, and stop showing me Boba Fett as a kid, and like stop showing me all these people as children. Stop it.
Well, like with the Joker,
This inadvertently turned into the Please Stop of the Week, and we did it first.
The Joker, like, I understand it. A lot of people know the Joker, but they don't know his origin story. But like the origin story for the Joker is super messed up.
Yeah, he's like the magician, right?
He's a magician, and he gets tied up in the mob because he like can't book gigs as a magician or stand-up comedian, not a magician, stand-up comedian. And he can't book gigs, and he gets tied up in the mob and winds up like falling into a vat during a heist gone wrong when the Batman shows up and all that kind of stuff. And it's just like, I mean, we don't need it. That's for sure. But
I mean, I'm like, I'm just not into it, man. Like, who cares? I would rather see an AC/DC origin story than a joke. Maybe that's a bad. Maybe that would actually be a fun thing to watch.
Such a like out of left field.
I would rather see a turd origin story than a story.
Isn't that just Super Size Me, the documentary?
Yeah, the origin story of a turd is just like food, right?
Food Network, right? Gordon Ramsay's latest TV show.
But yeah, so there aren't a ton of details yet. It's just kind of been like vaguely announced, and it's been vaguely announced that those two people are a part of it. One half of that team is obviously better than the other. Not better, but
more well equipped.
Well, and even maybe like Todd Phillips, he's not an incompetent screenwriter. Like he's had films that are funny.
Right.
Maybe they're going to, because it is his origin story, they're going to have like, maybe not in a slapstick sort of way, but maybe there will be an element of humor that works together with the like demented nature of the scenario and the character. But it's
he did write Borat.
Yeah.
He also wrote,
and I'm glad you brought that up. You know? Oh, well, see, so I think there's probably a kind of a both and there. Like, yeah, he does both these movies and movies that you could take seriously and maybe show your parents.
Yeah, War Dogs was pretty. I mean, it was definitely a comedy, but it was
Miles
pretty
Teller,
twisted. Yeah, Miles Teller, Jonah Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It definitely had some drama to it.
Well, that's good. But yeah, I think it could work, and it kind of depends on how you want to approach the character of the Joker. I think it doesn't really matter how you approach the character of the Joker in a film, because people are gonna be boobs and pissed,
right?
No matter what.
Yeah. Regardless of the actual outcome.
It really doesn't matter. Everybody was mad about Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad wasn't that bad. It just got a lot of bad press, and so everybody ate into that. Which is weird because Warner Brothers has like a vested interest in Rotten Tomatoes. You'd think they'd just slide them some cash.
Like bribery?
Yeah,
that's Did you
fine.
Just encourage bribery?
Yeah, you can't be arrested for encouraging bribery to like hypothetical bribery. You can't.
Conspiracy to commit hypothetical bribery.
No, inciting conspiracy to commit hypothetical bribery. That doesn't. Oh no, it's gonna go on my record. Whatever.
The Fairly Odd Parents are gonna come arrest you.
I do. I am having this problem recently of confusing the NSA and the TSA in conversation. So I very nearly said the TSA is going to come get me, but they're not going to. The TSA is not coming after me.
Yeah, you don't have a full-size Snickers bar. You'll be all right.
But I have a whole bottle of water, and I'm bringing my own liquor in the podcast plane. So, plane was a double entendre there without being a weird sexual innuendo. That's nice.
Pineapple.
What is the sound a pineapple makes? Is it really that sound we just did? This one? This sound? Is it really?
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Right. Right. That sound, that's what a pineapple makes? Come on.
You're making this an editing nightmare. Anyways, the Defenders, Marvel's Defenders, Marvel's The Defenders, which is way too difficult to say, dropped last Friday. And between Friday night and Saturday morning, I crushed it. Watched all 8 episodes pretty much straight with an 8-hour break of sleep in between. It was really good. I really liked it.
All right, sorry.
What did you think?
I actually, so you know how I'm 30 now?
Yeah.
So on the 13th of this month, I turned 30. And Susie, who is my wife, and our 2 dogs, one of which name is Tonks, which is after a Harry Potter character, and the other one's name is Sprout, which is after another Harry Potter character. Yeah. We went on a 10-day road trip all around the country, and just so happened to be the day that Defenders came out.
Yay!
So we have not gotten to watch it yet, but I have read the roast reel that they did. Somebody compiled a list of all the things that other characters said to Iron Fist.
Oh man, it's so good. It's so really good.
Yeah, because he's like safely the worst actor / character in the Netflix. What do we call the Netflix?
The MNU.
Yeah, the LMNOU.
Yeah, but I really think that Iron Fist stepped it up. Like, throughout the Defenders, you really start to see him like mature and become a better character, and that's my opinion. I don't know if that's a shared opinion amongst anyone else, but I think he really kind of steps into his own, and it kind of lends the question, at least for me, of was season 1 so bad because it was the character being that way intentionally. So you see it better, like you see him become a better character in the Defenders, which honestly, that's me making excuses.
Yeah, but Growing Pains was on the air for like 10 years, 7 years, and I mean, Kirk Cameron became a teacher at one point. That didn't mean I thought he was a better actor.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I will continue to use the analogy that oh man, what's his name?
I don't know.
Guy who plays Iron Fist. Go, Danny.
Finn Jones.
Finn Jones. That
Danny
he
Rand.
is Danny Rand Jones. Finn Danny Jan Rones. Anyway, Finn Jones.
Nailed it.
That he is exactly. He's following the same acting trajectory as Kirk Cameron. In a couple years, he's going to be making really offhanded, weird, religious slanted movies that make you feel ostracized when you watch them, even if you believe in the religion that he's talking about.
Well, anyways,
I think he's terrible. So what do you think? What do you think at the end of the Defenders? It's kind of pointed, right?
yeah, it's kind of pointed, and I don't want to throw any spoilers out because it did just come out. I mean, less than a week ago. So
Pineapple. Ha ha ha! I made it do the sound again.
You're an idiot. But it sets up for D&D Daredevil Born Again storyline, the Frank Miller storyline from the 90s, where Daredevil pretty much just goes insane because Kingpin drives him there. Sets that up for season 3 of Daredevil, which is really cool. One of my favorite things about the show, about the Defenders, was like, as we, in the first couple episodes, we follow each character individually before they actually come together. And one of the coolest things about that is, and it carries on throughout the rest of the show, is when it does a change of character that it's following, it does this like little cut scene of like shots around the city, and those shots around the city are use an overtone of that character's like color. So like Luke Cage is yellow, Iron Fist is green, Daredevil's is red, and Jessica Jones is like kind of a washed out bluish purple tint. So I thought that was really, really neat. And it was always a fun game for me to try and guess which one we were going to see next, based on what was what the cutscene looked like. So I thought that was really cool. But I thought it was a great show. I thought it was pretty high up on the list. It was cool to see all the Defenders actually come together. I think if you haven't watched it yet, you should, Steven.
Well, I'm gonna.
Yeah, okay
right?
then.
I got back yesterday, which was Monday.
This just happened.
Yeah, I'm doing my best to.
Fair.
But at the same time, I totally had a chance to do it today, and I'm still trying to rewatch Battlestar Galactica. So I've just watched like 5 episodes of that instead.
Yeah, yeah. Good excuses.
Well,
Pineapple.
it was something.
Oh.
Now I can't talk about it. That's what pineapple does. I forgot what we were talking about. Oh no. So Michael Kenneth Williams, this is so messed up to me. So Michael Kenneth Williams, who is from 12 Years a Slave and The Road and so many great films. He's such a terrific actor. He was slated to be in the Han Solo movie. He already had a character. He had already shot scenes, like several scenes, and he was playing this half animal, alien, half human kind of character, and it sounded super interesting, and I was really excited about it. But he died. No, I'm just kidding.
Jeez.
That's not funny. It is. So he was a casualty of the Miller Lord switch when they left, and Ron Howard is now taking over. Michael Kenneth Williams' character, unnamed Han Solo origin movie character, is he's kaput.
Yeah, and just because it hits home for me, Michael Kenneth Williams was in The Wire.
Oh yeah,
and he played Omar.
Yeah.
Just for anybody else who's a big fan of The Wire,
make
that connection.
What's the Childish Gambino quote? It's like, you're not racist because The Wire's in your Netflix queue. Every white person loves The Wire.
Yeah.
I keep saying blanket statements like that. I'm gonna get shot in the face.
Yeah, like only white people watch Psych.
I didn't say only white people watch Psych. I said if you watch Psych, you're probably white. Like the probability is that you're a white person. It's not just because Dule Hill is in it doesn't mean that it's accessible to all. I mean, the cast is like almost 100% white. It's
that's right.
98%. Whoa.
That's one of Dule Hill's lines from. That's like one of his like repeated lines. That's his catchphrase.
But you used it against him just now. You said you used his own catchphrase to make him sound menial. You're a monster. So yeah, Michael Kenneth Williams is no longer a part
Bring
of
it
the
back around.
No longer a part of the Han Solo movie, which I'm still kind of on the fence as to whether I'm actually going to see because of the. You might remember a couple Pineapple Points ago where I was talking about the Joker origin movie and how it's stupid. Stop making origin movies of things. Why are we? Pineapple.
So we can see Donald Glover as Lando.
Yeah, that might be it though.
Speaking of origin stories, so
they didn't get the guy. Oh, never mind.
So there's this other origin movie coming out for Uncharted, the video game.
Oh, perfect.
Sean Levy recently discussed the Uncharted movie, the reason for it being an origin story, and called it an Indiana Jones type franchise for a new generation. He goes on to say that the game is awesome, the spirit, the action, the imaginative setting, the rogue swagger, they're all like really awesome things to kind of turn into a movie. Basically saying that he has like a really great IP that he gets to turn into his own little project. We've talked about on the show how Tom Holland met Sean Levy and actually pitched the origin of the story, the the origin of the story. The fact that it would be an origin story to Sean Levy. And the cocky part about it was he pitched it as like he would be the star, Tom Holland, which is awesome. One, go Tom Holland, the cojones on that one. But it worked. Like Sean Levy was like, yeah, that's a great idea. And basically the conversation was that we haven't seen the origin as a plot of games 1, 2, 3, or 4. And the only origin we've seen is a snippet of Sully and Drake meeting in the past. So there's an opportunity to do a treasure hunting action movie with attitude, with a protagonist and a chapter of the protagonist's life that you can't get for free at home by just playing the game. That was a quote from Sean Levy. I don't think he understands that video games cost money because you don't get them for free.
Oh, no, they're free.
Oh. Well,
Yeah.
in that case, I've been playing video games wrong pretty much my whole life.
No, you've been buying video games wrong.
What?
Well, because you get...
Because I can get them for free.
Yeah, well, if it's free, then you're buying them wrong. You're not playing them wrong. You're not exchanging...
I've been video gaming incorrectly.
No, you've been gaming fine. It's the buying...
Anyways, I'll say this. The movie has a lot of potential. Tom Holland in the starring role, Sean Levy at the helm. I mean, that in and of itself it bodes well so far. Following the excellent writing of the game, assuming that it can very easily be one of the first good video game movies ever. So I think there's a lot riding on its shoulders, especially with it being such a popular title that if it's not done well, it is not going to end well at all for anyone involved. But China will probably love it, and there will be sales out the wazoo. So hopefully it actually performs well in the States. And if it gets a sequel or whatever they plan to do with it in the future, it is earned and
Agreed.
And wanted.
And I hope that they chart a course through uncharted
Pineapple.
So Channing Tatum,
Yeah.
a name that I'm always impressed makes it into this podcast when it does, has reported that Gambit is... Yeah.
Still talking about this.
Gambit is going to start over.
What?
Yeah,
Oh
so
my
given the success of the Deadpool movie, which the article said it's Deadpool movies, which I think is a little cocky.
Yeah.
But given of the
bit soon.
of the Deadpool movie, it's current the Gambit movie's undergoing a rewriting of the script, totally from scratch. Let's see, because Rupert Wyatt left, and then Doug Liman.
Right. Well, I mean, the Gambit movie has been flying in rumors since like October of whenever before we started the podcast, 2014.
Yeah, no, it's been around forever. But he's in good spirits about it, and he has a really nice, albeit long quote about it, where he, if I were to paraphrase it, I care a lot about Gambit.
End of sentence.
And he's been working hard to make sure it happens, and he really wants it to happen. It's kind of a funny thing though. It's one of those things where I would love to see a Gambit movie, but not as much as I would just like to see Gambit portrayed well in a movie. Like you
Right.
It's we have the one which the kind of like he who shall not be named uh of the Marvel of the Fox Marvel verse, whatever their crappy name for it is. But it's just you had a model doing it, and now you have a guy who actually has some acting chops who's interested in doing it, and you can't get it off the ground, but you can get some crappy kind of B-rate Gambit in a movie. But they're working on it. I guess we'll see what develops. How many times do we have to? Well, we're just gonna keep going through this until we all die before the movie's ever made.
Yeah,
but yeah,
true.
He was really persistent on them trying to do something different with the character, which I'm sure just means we're gonna make it more like Deadpool. Cue laugh track. But yeah, Fox is doing fine. They'll be fine. But just stop talking about it and do it. Deadpool 2 is happening. We see stuff that's happening there. Stop just talking about Gambit movies all the time. Like, what you have don't they have other characters? Why just make a bunch of it just frustrates me so.
This is fun to listen to.
It's such a stammery mess. I can't organize my thoughts right now.
Just listening to you frustratedly stammer.
I was drinking earlier. Maybe I can attribute it to that. I can't. I'm so over the conversation about it. I want there to be a Gambit movie. You want there to be a Gambit movie.
Yep.
Like we want there to be a Gambit movie. We want Nightcrawler to be represented well. We want Colossus to be represented a little bit better than he was in Deadpool. It was fine, but I don't know. He was kind of an idiot in Deadpool, and I don't think that was appreciated. But Colossus, I mean, not Gambit.
Yeah,
Crow.
I agree with that.
What? How do they say pineapple in other languages?
Pineapple.
Anana.
French. Classy. Romantic.
Hey listeners, my name is Dave Cole and I'm the Dungeon Master and host of a new Dungeons & Dragons podcast called...
Dave, say no more. They'll be enchanted by one of my songs, and then they'll be hooked.
No, they want to hear about how we slayed great beasts.
No, they want to hear about magic and sorcery and spellcasting.
They will listen for the story, the rich history, the lore.
Or we could just roll the dice and let fate decide.
You're right. If you haven't listened to the Four Orbs yet, find us at www.fourorbs.org or whatever podcast app you use.
Anyways.
Is the sound effect going to have like an accent?
No, it's not. How would it have an accent?
Like, blue. Like, is that?
Oh my gosh. Anyways, here's the thing that I didn't know. How to Talk to Girls at Parties, the Neil Gaiman short story, is getting a film adaptation, starring Elle Fanning. Didn't know that at all, but it piggybacks on the pineapple point from last week of that man cannot lose right now.
No, he's on top.
He's got so much. He is turning into like the Michael Crichton of this like decade.
Yeah. He's like if Michael Crichton and John Grisham had a love child. A
sci-fi fantasy love child.
Yeah, who only wrote the weirdest things that came to mind.
Right. How to Talk to Girls at Parties, fun fact, has a more cult following name, not a cult name, of How to Talk to Earth Girls at Parties. It is a sci-fi fantasy, crazy, fun short story that I think he wrote like in the early 2000s. But Elle Fanning is starring. Alex Sharp who's a stage actor and was also in To the Bone, which was a Netflix original movie.
Did you say Shart?
Sharp. Alex Sharp was a stage actor and was also in To the Bone, a Netflix original movie. They're playing the two main characters. Nicole Kidman's also in it. I mean, it's got a pretty strong cast.
Yeah. Like
but the cool thing is that a trailer released recently. Couldn't really tell you a whole lot about it because it was how do you say in Japanese. But
wait, the Japanese trailer was in Japanese?
Yes, the trailer was in Japanese. I didn't say it was a Japanese trailer.
What a crazy world.
I said it was a trailer, but it was in Japanese.
Wait.
I didn't read straight off of my notes, is what I'm saying. But yeah, it looks cool. It looks really interesting. I'm excited to see the movie based on the trailer that we did get.
Is the whole movie going to be in Japanese?
No, it was just it was the Japanese trailer for the movie that released before the U.S. trailer.
But it was released in Japan.
Yes.
So it was the Japanese trailer.
Yes.
So the Japanese trailer was in Japanese.
That is correct.
And why did you, but know me a second ago?
Because I didn't say the Japanese trailer was in Japanese. I said we got a trailer, but can't really tell you anything about it because it was in Japanese.
Yeah, and I was yes-anding you and saying that the Japanese trailer, or the trailer that was in Japanese, was a Japanese trailer.
Mom!
Where's Riley?
Riley, help.
Tell him he's wrong.
Riley's just hanging out at his desk, doing something, looking at Craigslist. He just finished writing an invoice, ladies and gentlemen.
Riley takes care of our web store and also our social media.
Riley did do our initial photos, so that's a thing. Riley's a photographer.
He's also our podcast producer and editor. So
yeah, he's not either of those things. But
come on, man, I'm trying. Riley, he's like an ancillary character now. Like we need to.
Yeah, Riley's a photographer. Riley, what's your website? RileyRalmuto.com. RileyRalmuto.com. He takes pretty photos. If you're in the Denver area, hit him up. Or Texas. Sometimes he's down there too.
Yeah. And make sure you leave a good review of him in our on the iTunes store for us because he gets to read all those. He's the one who sifts through all of them. So.
Yeah, he's the one that reads through all of our reviews. He does most of our blog writing on the website as well.
Yeah.
He does all of our social. He handles our Instagram single-handedly like a champion.
Yeah.
And honestly, he's just a nice looking fella.
Yeah, he hosts every episode with a secondary host.
That part's not true. Anyways, How to Talk to Girls at Parties coming out sometime in 2018. Pineapple.
Is that like Earth Girls or Easy? You remember that movie?
No, it's not. No, it's not.
What is that? Jim Carrey and Jeff Goldblum? And Damon Wayans?
Yes, I think.
The Damon Wayans? I don't remember.
Who cares? Pineapple.
Because I wasn't alive when that movie came out is why I don't remember. Dane. Don't shame me, Dane. So speaking of Deadpool 2, which we haven't done in a couple Pineapple Points, but speaking of it, Eddie Marsan signed. He's from Ray Donovan. He's a fantastic actor. He is now in the cast for Deadpool 2. So that brings, short of Josh Brolin, and I know I'm alone in thinking that, but it makes it pretty much the best cast that you could possibly have in a movie. I know that I kind of stand alone as not being a big Josh Brolin fan, at least from the podcast perspective. My opinion does not represent the opinion of everyone, but everybody else in this movie is going to be so good.
Man, I'm just clicking through Eddie Marsan's like filmography.
Oh yeah,
and I totally forgot he was Inspector Lestrade in the Guy Ritchie Sherlock Holmes movies.
Oh yeah, and he's what's his face in at World's End, the first one to be turned into a robot, right?
Yeah, he was like the nerdy, afraid to do anything guy.
Oh no, yeah, he's the one that like goes for the girl at the end. I'm thinking of
Peter Page.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Martin Freeman. But yeah, no, he's fantastic, and I really love. He has if you were to go to his IMDb page, he has a picture of him with a goatee. I've never seen him with a goatee in any movie.
Oh, that's like his look in. Is it Ray Donovan? I think it might be Ray Donovan. At least for one season, I think he has.
I thought Ray Donovan. He has like a mustache and he's like bald.
No, that was something else. But I know what you're talking about. Where he's like skin bald, like straight raised.
Yeah.
I think that's Limehouse Golem.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, he's a good actor. That's the point.
Just hanging out with Sabretooth. It's really getting meta now. Really getting meta.
He's Sabretooth's big brother.
Yeah. Well, good for him. You know, he's tiny. So. Why are we talking about this? Oh, because Deadpool 2 is going to be amazing.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be. I will predict that it'll be the highest rated sequel of any sequel on Rotten Tomatoes after it comes out. It's going to be that good. Except I hate Josh Brolin. So.
And there's that.
It'll lose 2 points for having Josh Brolin in
it. just for having him in it.
Yeah. 2 points, too. Like it's not based on percentages. Pineapple.
So, Glass, the M. Night Shyamalan sequel to Unbreakable and Split, the surprise sequel, which was super fun.
There was like
M. Night
twist of the
Shyamalan.
movie.
Yeah, M. Night Shyamalan totally threw a M. Night Shyamalan plot twist into just the movie of Split. Like, didn't market it as a sequel to Unbreakable. Didn't put it anywhere on anything that it was a sequel to Unbreakable. And just was like, oh yeah, by the way, this is a sequel to Unbreakable.
Yeah, and it was kind of like it was a narcissistic sort of twist.
I mean, it was great.
Like, I'm gonna make this movie a twist, and the twist is it's a sequel to another one of my movies. It's like, you dick.
But it got a plot synopsis. Glass did, the third and final in the series. M. Night Shyamalan.
Isn't it in like a comic book or something?
I'm gonna read it right now.
You're gonna read the whole comic book?
The synopsis. Oh my gosh. M. Night Shyamalan brings together the narratives of two of his standout originals, 2000's Unbreakable and last year's Split, in one explosive, all-new comic book thriller, Glass. From Unbreakable, Bruce Willis returns as David Dunn, as does Samuel L. Jackson as Elijah Price, known also by his pseudonym, Mr. Glass. Joining from Split are James McAvoy reprising his role as Kevin Wendell Crumb in The Multiple Identities Who Reside Within, and Anya Taylor-Joy as Casey Cook, the only captive to survive an encounter with the Beast. Following the conclusion of Split, Glass finds Dunn pursuing Crumb's superhuman figure of the Beast in a series of escalating encounters, while the shadowy presence of Price, emerges as an orchestrator who holds secrets critical to both men. This riveting culmination of his worldwide blockbusters will be produced by Shyamalan and Jason Blum, who also produced the writer-director's previous two films for Universal. They produce again with Ashwin Rajan and Mark Beinstock and Steven Schneider, who will executive produce. So that's really neat. I think it's really cool that they got the whole gang back together to come in and do the sequel, especially to see the stories kind of cross into each other and see where Split left off with Bruce Willis coming back as David Dunn and chasing down James McAvoy's Kevin Crumb. I think that's going to be really neat. I'm really excited to see it. I honestly never thought I would say ever again that I was excited to see an M. Night Shyamalan movie. But I am. So there's that.
Yeah. Ben. Ben is Ben. You've heard Ben speak on the podcast before. If you're a longtime listener, he's in the Underhill Family Orchestra, which is my band. And he is the only person that I've ever known to say that Unbreakable is his favorite movie. But it is. And I was like, have you seen Split? He was like, no. I was like, well, you should probably watch it. He was like, why? I was like, I can't tell you. You just got to watch it. Okay, well, I'll get to it. I was like, all right, but you're going to want to watch it. And like, and he got so annoyed.
I can't tease this hard enough.
Right. And he got so annoyed with it. And I was like texting him in our group chat. I was like, or I was, in front of everybody texting like, hey, Ben, did you watch Split yet? He said, no, why do I need to watch this movie so bad? I was like, you need to watch it. Trust me. You need to watch it. You need to watch it. And he was like, okay, I'll watch it when I have time. And like months go by. And he was like, guys, I just saw Split. And,
oh my God.
Oh yeah. It was all cursing after that. It was just all excited cursing and like, holy boobs. Why the boobs? Didn't I see this boobsing movie sooner? I'm so boobs and dumb. I should have boobsy. It's pretty good. I wish I had a way of actually, telling our listeners what he said. Just message me privately, and I'll let you know what he said. But no, he was super excited about it, and he was like, "There's gonna be another movie!" Like he was so excited. And then now he's trying to like find little things on me, like the Vindicators 3 episode of Rick and Morty, which kind of a spoiler, but there's a hip hop artist who's a big deal to me. His name's Logic, and he appears in the episode. And Ben just like he sent me a link to some video player that had that episode. He was like, dude, have you seen this? And I was like, yeah, I've seen that. Like, yeah. I don't need your help.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, I did. Have you seen the video of Logic where he brings up the handicapped fellow on stage?
No.
Yeah, it's cool? Like this guy that knows like his Spitfire rap.
Oh, cool.
And they do a rap off on stage, and Logic keeps like getting faster and faster, and the guy just keeps staying right on point.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
Logic gives him his hat. He's just you earned this.
That's so good. That's so good. Yeah, he's a good guy. And from what I've read, but they're on an episode of Harmontown, which is a podcast that I listen to pretty much every waking moment of every day. There's an episode where Logic is on there, and went in preparation for that episode. He went to Starburns Industries to meet up with the Justin Roiland, Dan Harmon, and the whole Rick and Morty crew. And he said, yeah, so the rap that he gave me, it was just riddled with the N-word. And so, so Logic like showed up. Logic would be the only person in that room that is even remotely black. Logic is he's half black. So he's like, yeah, I can say that. I prefer not to say it because I don't say it in my music. But that means Dan Harmon sat in a room and to himself was like trying to write out a rap, and it was just like, if Dane was here, he would be a more of a ringer.
I'm just giggling to the thought of Dan Harmon writing a rap with just riddled with the N-word.
Oh man, and we should talk about this more, or you should listen to it. It's really good. But he raps on his show. Dan Harmon. Well, he doesn't rap. He tries every episode
very hard.
And long form, like minutes long, like horrible freestyle rapping. And it's so cringy and bad, and it has its moments, but it's
at
like
the very least entertaining.
No, not even at the very least. At the very least, it's like I want to hold him. Like I just want to console him for what he's done to himself.
Poor guy.
No, But every once in a while he has a guy named Spencer who's on his show, and he can rap better, but he's a dungeon master, and so everything
Of
that
course.
he raps about, everything that he raps about is kind of like that.
Yeah.
It's like
Super nerdy.
yeah, he's like, I scaled the wall. I gotta. I don't know. I'm not, but he's like, he says something about like critting and saving throws and stuff like that. It's really funny. Not to plug another podcast. I don't want to send credit out from here. I want people to stay here and listen to.
I don't even remember where we are in the notes right now. We've gotten so far off topic.
Well, I think we were at a pineapple. So
Yeah, I think I just finished Glass, and it's on you.
Pineapple.
Pineapple.
So David Bowie passed away.
Yep.
A
Accurate.
while. We all miss him. Which sounded sarcastic, but it's not. We all miss David Bowie. And James Gunn, in an interview, let's see, on Tuesday,
Yep.
started talking about how he had approached David Bowie to be in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and how that would have in effect made David Bowie possibly a recurring character in the Guardians of the Galaxy universe.
Mm-hmm.
And especially considering that they just kind of broke the news that Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is going to set up like the next several phases.
Right.
It's really sad to hear, but basically he was going to be on the old school Guardians team. Sylvester Stallone and Miley Cyrus and Ving Rhames and Michelle Yeoh and Michael Rosenbaum. But he was going to ostensibly play one of those characters, and there has not been like an official word that those characters will come back, but it has been like they've kind of created rumors about that possibility, because we are going to see that part of the galaxy in so many future films because of the Guardians and how integral they will become to the whole universe of the thing. So it kind of became a sad moment for me today, which is Tuesday, but it was like 4:00 in the afternoon when I read this article, and I'm just like, and that's when we that's right around the time we were doing our fantasy league for Between the Cons, and I threw up Jareth as my avatar for the fantasy league, and I was it's always sad, but
Right.
But yeah, there have been so many like little things that they've come out with from this new Guardians of the Galaxy, or latest Guardians of the Galaxy movie, that like little Easter eggs here and stuff like that. I mean, it makes you really excited to see the trajectory of kind of those characters in the Guardians of the Galaxy world.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing that James Gunn is really good at, and that was that was something that was really exciting about Spider-Man: Homecoming. Was there were so many callbacks, and there were so many like Easter eggs that were in the movie that made it, I don't want to say better, but John Watts did a really good job of doing his homework with Spider-Man: Homecoming, and I feel like James Gunn does the same thing.
Right, and James Gunn, he's Steve from Minecraft. He's like a world builder. He loves it.
Right.
Like he has a real vision for it, and it's kind of sad to know. Oh man, this is gonna sound so sad. It's sad to know that the world that James Gunn builds will not include David Bowie. It's
really
just kind
sad.
of it's a really sad thing to say. But he's David, but he will forever be David Bowie. But he was just like the most celestial. He was the Goblin King. He was such a in tune part of kind of this part of the culture, and space, sci-fi, whatever.
Fantasy.
Yeah, no. But not to like bring it to a sad note. It's just kind of an interesting thing that I found, and it kind of made me sad that he passed away because we do get Moon Age Daydream in the Guardian in the first Guardians film, so I don't know. Pineapple. Don't define me, Sarah.
So to end on more of a just social commentary note than anything. So Netflix tweeted out during the eclipse on Monday that they saw a 10% drop in viewership during the eclipse, which is nuts to me. Netflix has over 50 million subscribers in the US alone. And 5 million of those people were along this path that essentially cut from like Washington State all the way down to Florida.
Yeah.
5 million people were in that path that decided, I'm going to go outside. It's just like,
well, I think it was through South Carolina 1. 2.
South Carolina.
It's kind of a weird statistic to bring up. Like
exactly. That's my thought. Is like we lost 10% viewership for this thing that these people aren't gonna see for another God knows how many years.
6 years.
Well, the one that's happening in 2024 is going from. It's only going to be on the east side of the U.S.
I think it's diagonal. I think it runs from Maine to Texas. I listened to a guy talk about all this. And then the next one, which is in like 2042, is going to go from Southern California all the way to northern Florida. But which I don't know how. I'm not an astronaut. I'm not a scientist. I don't know how he could possibly know that. But what I do, how do you know? But what I do know is to say that you have, for us to know that they have 50 million subscribers in the U.S. alone, and they reported a 10% drop in plays during the eclipse. Like, based on what, dude? Like, based on the last eclipse that you guys weren't around for? Like,
based on your average Monday at noon viewership?
Yeah, yeah, like based on exactly like it's it was 1:30 in the afternoon for me.
Yeah, people taking
like,
a Netflix and chill lunch break.
Yeah, like what?
It's like, hey, baby girl, I got a free hour. What you doing?
I'm gonna and she's like, well, I got my glasses. I'm gonna go look at the sun behind the moon. It's gonna be great. Which is a super offensive voice. But we're gonna get some comments about that.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Keyboard warriors come out.
Yeah, the armchair activists are gonna be real mad about that.
Oof.
But no, I think that's such a funny statistic because it's rooted on what like a normal day is.
Right.
We were driving back from Durham, North Carolina yesterday. Yesterday. Because the Monday was the eclipse. So
right.
we were driving back, and it turned the 10-hour trip from Durham to Mobile into like a 17-hour trip because of traffic. Yeah, it's insane. And it was reported that in that area, major metro areas, that like an extra 1 or 2 million people were there.
Holy crap! That's like, it's like like Idaho and Wyoming up here, or over here, that they saw a total eclipse, and Denver only got like 80-something%. But people drove up, and like I had so many people at the office ask me like, "Hey, are you gonna drive up to Wyoming or whatever?" It's like, bro, we only got one interstate that goes up there, and it's only 3 lanes wide.
Yeah, that's a big new.
Yeah, that's.
But I guess
we live in a city of millions. And
point being,
I'm not doing that.
My point being, I think, is if this so like in order to see the full eclipse, right, there was like a 65-mile window.
Right.
So you're packing 2 million people in around metro areas in those window places. So like we were in Gaffney, South Carolina when it happened, but we left at like 8:00.
Yeah,
and
Gaffney,
so we got
South Carolina, home of the side of the road fruit stand that is the size of a warehouse.
Yeah, but Durham to Gaffney is not a 6-hour drive, which is how long it took us to get there. Anyway, so you got like 2 million people in that, but you have those 2 million people like in a total diagonal across the entire United States. So if I were to estimate, you have something like 30 or 40 million people looking at this just in the United States from the 65-mile thing. So what is going on with your statistic, Netflix? Like, it doesn't make any sense, dude.
Well,
Like,
most of those people aren't watching Netflix at 1 p.m. on a Monday.
I think I think a lot of people didn't want to watch. I just think it's so many people saw that eclipse. You can't say like we saw a 10% drop in plays during the eclipse. We have over 50 million subscribers. It's like, yeah, but like, dude, like a little over half of that were people watching the eclipse. Like, it's just such a weird, like, the more I look at these 3 lines of text in our notes, like the more my brain gets, it's like boggled. Like I can't, like, how do you even
not compute?
Like, and certainly they were saying it to be like, hey, good job, everybody. I'm glad, we're happy that this happened. People were outside, they were enjoying each other, they were enjoying nature, they were getting to see something that you don't get to see very often, and that's really cool. And like, they obviously don't care, but it was still, it's just the more I look at it, the more my brain's like, stop it! Because it certainly wasn't for a laugh, they weren't like, oh, we lost 10%.
Well, no, they did. They made a joke about it. It was it was like the tweet was, hey, just wondering why 10% of you chose to watch a giant rock cover a giant ball of gas when I have always been there for you. And then it was, but really, there was a 10% drop in plays during the eclipse today. Well played, man.
I've seen some really great art come out of that.
Oh yeah.
I follow this guy on Instagram named Beardy Glasses Illustration. He's a guy I worked student life with, named Ben Wallace. But his was like this moon that like really flamboyantly jumped in front of the sun, and it's all like that Adventure Time kind of art. It's like it's the one day a year where the moon steals the show. And it's, the guy is stop personifying the moon like that. The moon doesn't care. The moon stoppeth for no man. I don't know.
Why is it Old English?
Why
not?
Doth Vader
pineapple. Anyways, that is it for the show. Thank you, everyone, for listening to this wondrous adventure of idiocy. If you're interested in, it just sounds like you're blowing into the microphone, Steven. If you're interested in sponsoring the show, check out Patreon, Satchel, Amazon. Those are the best ways to do it. Check out our website, betweenthecons.com. You can stream all of our episodes online. You can link out to our social media sites. You can do all sorts of things there. If you like our theme music, check out Afixa, because he makes the dope dubstep.
Ipahixa.
And finally, don't forget to subscribe. We release new episodes every Monday and every Thursday for your listening pleasure. So that being said, we will be back on Monday. We will be talking about stuffs, and you will not want to miss it.
Yeah, and it's going to be me, so it's going to be incendiary and stupid for no reason.
Yeah, incendiary and stupid. So you guys tune in on Monday for some incendiary stupidity. And
oh, God. It's going to be the name of the episode now.
Yes, it is. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you then.
Bye, 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 bye. Lena Dunham is battling rosacea.